I recorded the sermon earlier in the week, having read and studied the passages in the Gospels about Palm Sunday and reflecting about Palm Sundays of the past. But since then, I have talked to a number of people about what's going on in this city and in this country. And last night, I thought I would add a few thoughts, which are, of course, simply my thoughts. Maybe thoughts from the outside looking in. We have passed through the election of a president, the defeat of a volatile, divisive president, the insurrection that challenged the change of power, the inauguration, and it appears that we have settled into a rather humdrum political period. The president proposing various social and economic changes, and Congress skirmishing over this and that piece of legislation. And here in San Francisco, we're hunting down vaccine appointments. It seems as if we have settled into a former way of doing things in our political world. Now, for some of us, life is going on like normal. I can go to the market, go to the post office, even go to Chinatown without fear. It doesn't matter that my grandfather came from Scotland, couldn't read a word of English, spoke a barely intelligible English when he got off that boat. I'm white. But for many of you, it matters what you look like, what language you might be speaking as you walk down the street towards Safeway, or while you're chatting with a friend at the post office. It matters what you look like standing alone, waiting for a minibus. You've been through this before, as have your parents and your grandparents. Even recently, the former president was calling you as carriers of the Chinese plague, and violence erupted. There is fear in the land. Fear in this town. Fear of simply going to the market, of going to the post office. Fear of simply taking Muni across town, of going down to Chinatown. All simply because of who you are, what you look like, what language you might be speaking, regardless of the fact that you were born in the United States and that you have lived here all your life. Now, we are a community here, a community of faith at Covenant Church. We must pray for peace. Pray together and pray for each other. And we must talk to each other about what's going on. But that's not enough. Here we can look to the book of Acts and to the early Christian community for guidance. The early church was hunted down by the Romans, persecuted and killed for what they believed, for merely what they believed. Of course, they prayed together and they prayed for each other, but they did more. We too must do more. We as a community can't let fear rule us, any of us. We must band together, stand together, walk together. It is important for those of us who aren't in danger, those of us who are white, not to sit back and say to ourselves, well, at least I'm safe. I can go to the store. I don't have to worry. No, we need to walk with you who are fearful, those of you who are rightfully fearful, afraid of venturing out on your own. We need to walk with you. As the early Christians did in those first few centuries, don't fear the world, but go out into the world in pairs, in threes, in fours, in groups. Go out, not as victims, but as proud citizens that you are. Be smart, phones ready, eyes open, but let's be together. For that is what the early Christians did. And through their actions, acting together, a strong church was built that brought us through the centuries. Bless you all.